Good morning. I'm assuming you don't like to talk about death. Most people don't, and that's understandable and completely normal, so don't sweat it. However, we really should think about it for a number of good reasons occasionally. If you have a family or people who depend on you in some way, you should consider the predicament they may be in if you're gone. It could be a financial, social, or business-related predicament also. And if you have a family, you should review your plans probably every few years and adjust them as needed to care for your loved ones. Businesses and socially related situations, maybe not that frequently, perhaps review every 3 to 5 years. Have you ever stopped to consider the number of people or organizations that depend on you in some way? How would they be affected if you were suddenly gone? Not a bad idea to have a review. In fact, it's a very Christian thing to do. Jesus prepared the apostles numerous times for his departure. He even gave special instructions to his best friend John regarding caring for his mother. Now, on a bigger and more global scale, let's consider what I'm going to call the 5 W's of Jesus' death. The what, when, where, who, and why of his departure. See if this makes sense to you. The what is Jesus' death and his return. He told them plainly that he'd be betrayed, falsely judged, convicted, crucified, and would die. And that it was a good thing because he would return. Good thing for believers. Plus, he told them that he'd return to claim all who trusted in him, to live with him forever in heaven. That was a promise that sadly many still don't get. The when is unknown by design. The key here is for believers to receive the promise that they need to believe by faith before they die and before he returns. Christians are to be ready 24/7, 365. Also, he may rapture the church, believers, out before, during, or after his actual return. Big question, are you ready? The where is an interesting one to consider. My understanding is that no one knows where, but that he will be seen everywhere. I can't wait to see how he does that. The who is also somewhat of a conundrum. The promise is offered to everyone, even to sinners. That's right, including you and me, and a whole bunch of other people that we probably wouldn't invite. But we don't know if they really believe or not. And we're not to judge them either. That's Jesus' job. The why is, number 1, he made a promise and he keeps his promises. And number 2, his motive is love. God in love sent his only Son to the earth to save sinners and show us how we as believers should behave. And also how to love others. Matthew 22:37-39. Because, and here is one more W, and it's a big one. Through faith in Jesus, we will miss the wrath of God when Jesus judges the world. We've all been warned and have an opportunity to accept Jesus as our Savior and then to follow his example and teachings to make him Lord of our lives while we're living here on earth. My friends, this is the most important thing we ever need to do. Everything else is just stuff. I encourage you to review the 5 W's and to share them with others every chance you get. As always, have a great week. Life moves fast, right? But what if you could take just 5 minutes each week to pause and reflect on something really meaningful? Welcome to Mondays with Mark, a devotional that shares spiritual thoughts inspired by the Bible. Regardless of where you are, it only takes 5 minutes for our short episodes to help you reconnect with timeless wisdom in the middle of your busy week. If this devotional has touched your heart, please consider supporting us financially. Your generosity helps us continue spreading hope and encouragement to listeners of all ages. So, take 5 minutes to ponder, reflect, and grow with Mondays with Mark.